Welcome to episode 299. He says, looking down at his little bit of paper with the fucking numbers on. Welcome to episode 299 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It's fucking Sunday, people. Sunday the 16th. Fucking hell, my mouth hasn't even woken up yet. He says, Sunday the 16th of July, 2023. Good recovery there. How we doing? How are you doing? It's fucking early on a Sunday morning. It's 5:30 in the morning, and I thought I'd just come and, well, not do that, but I thought I'd just come and do the podcast early. Got a busy day. There we go. You know, I'm up and about. I'm determined to go to the gym today. I didn't go yesterday. I know. I'm feeling feeling that guilt and remorse that you feel when you haven't been to the gym, which is fucking overwhelming. It's awful. But I don't know why that stopped. Number of MIDI ports changed. I don't know why that's just stopped. Everything's set up right. So we've got no backup for this episode. Fuck it. I usually back up this shit on my computer, but for some reason that has just decided not to work. So I have no idea. Anyway, so fuck's sake. Let's even my fucking MacBook doesn't want to be up at this time. So I'm feeling from the guilt and remorse of not going to the gym, which is, I'm paying £38 a month for a fucking guilt trip if I don't go. I didn't go yesterday because I got up a little bit later. And by the time I'd fucking got everything, I need to get to the gym at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Because you get the fucking aqua aerobics people. The behemoths, getting into the swimming pool about 8:45. So if I want to do a half an hour swim, I have to get there and in the pool by 8:15, or it's a absolute fuck fest. Absolute fuck fest. The people get in, the water level rises. It's like a fucking tsunami effect. And they start splashing around and shit in the first few lanes. And you can't swim at all when they're in there actually doing the aerobics, because it's just like, you know, choppy seas, like some sort of fucking Jaws. It's Jaws with women who, what's the politically correct term for fat women these days? Huge, enormous, obese. Have I said this before, that I don't think aqua aerobics actually does anything? I think it actually it doesn't help at all. The women I see getting in the pool, hey Ben, they're doing something. They're trying to better themselves. Yeah, it's not working from what I can see. But anyway, God bless them. So they're out there on a Sunday morning, aren't they? Or a Saturday morning. Sorry, they're out there, aren't they? They tell people they do aqua aerobics. People probably, question that in their own head, but they're not gonna say anything to their fucking face, are they? Anyway, let's be nice this morning, Ben, shall we? It's the Sabbath, so come on. Let's so it's 5:30 in the morning. So I've woken up with the guilt trip of not doing very much yesterday, and I had to go shopping instead, because if you don't get... Also, this is the dilemma I'm caught in on a Saturday morning. If I don't go shopping early for food, it's a fucking nightmare to park. And if I leave it too late, then I don't have time to come back, drop my shopping off, and then go to the gym. So I need to be out of here at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, which, sometimes you want a bit of a lie-in at the weekend, till about 7:15, and that is just not possible for me. So that was yesterday. It is a fucking hell of a guilt trip though. And then you're like, is this where the rot sets in? Am I going to be one of those people who goes to the gym for a couple of months and then just quits, and you're paying £38 a month just to see out your contract? I'm like a fucking, I'm like somebody who got signed for a fucking football team who turns out to be shit, and then I'm just sitting on the bench for the rest of my career, but or the rest of my contract. But I'm the one who's paying it. That's it. So hopefully the rot won't set in, and I'll be inspired today to go and have a fucking swim. So it's been a couple of weeks because I didn't go last week because of my show. So it's been what, 2 weeks. Yeah, Jesus, man. That's it, innit? The guilt I'm carrying around with me at the moment is unbelievable. Anyway, let's try and put a positive spin on the day, shall we? Here we go. I was last night. I got back fairly late last night. I was in Handsworth. Let's have a little bit of water. There you go. Let's wet the old tongue there. He says, this is turning into some sort of pornographic ASMR, isn't it? Let's wet the tongue. Do you like that? You like a nice wet tongue, do you? There we go. Anyway, I was in Handsworth last night in Birmingham at a rugby club do. Holy fucking shit. Rugby club gig. Which took me fucking ages to find because the sat-nav on my car, you type in the... I know I ought to use my phone as a sat-nav, but I don't because it's too small. And although I do, like, as soon as I get lost, I revert to my phone. I'm going to hold my hands up. I do that, yeah. I do the old voice thing, find whatever. And then last night, the signal wasn't being picked up. So I was just like with my normal sat-nav on my car. Which is like came with the car, obviously. It's like installed in the car. But you can't actually... Why can't they develop a... There must be cars like that do that. Do Teslas do that? Where you can just pinpoint exactly where you need to go. I know they've got that big fucking screen on there. That's what I ought to do. I ought to get one of those iPads with like Wi-Fi. Or... I don't know. We're going off track, aren't we? We're going off track. I don't know. Do they have those sat-navs these days where they can just pinpoint, you type in the actual building, it can do that? I ought to use that what 3 words thing. Never used it. I have no idea how those people make a living who run that company where you type 3 words in and it gives you like a 2 meter square, and every 2 meters square in the fucking world has got its own 3 words that they use for it. I ought to do that. That's what I ought to do. Start using that, but how the fuck do you find that out? I have no idea. I have no idea who uses that. Or like any other app, you'll get the app and then it'll give you like the basic sort of area. And if you need to pinpoint anything in a fucking app, you have to pay extra for it every fucking month. Isn't it? That's what our life is these days. Subscriptions. I'm just subscribed to various things, subscribe to things and never fucking own anything. That's the future of our civilization right there. Fucking rant already, isn't it? But it is, isn't it? I'm tired. I'm tired of having to subscribe to shit all the time. I've just got rid of my Disney Plus and my fucking Amazon. And then you realise you need to order something from Amazon and you're like, oh, fucking hell, I've got to pay $4.99 fucking delivery for this shit now. That's how they get you. They give you a shitty service and then they give you a good service. But if you've got the good service, you have to sign up for that for life, don't you? And it's just going out of your account every month. I don't know. That's what it'll be in the end. They'll do that with food and water. Well, they do that anyway, don't they? But if you want to, you'll need to be able to afford to subscribe to a service that is centralised to get food. It'll all be delivered to your door, but they'll charge you a minimum of like £300 a month. And I know people out there, people are thinking £300 a month. That's not it. That's not a lot for my food consumption, particularly if you do aqua aerobics. Oh, here we go. Anyway, so I fucking struggled to find the place last night. It was a fucking nightmare. I drove past it 3 times. Once on the way down, completely missed it. Then turned left because my sat-nav took me there. Then I had to do a U-turn. Then down a side road. I had to turn down a side road, come out of the side road, and then my sat-nav was taking ages to realise. So I got a 50-50 choice. I got a 50-50 choice whether I go left or whether I go right. I go right, and as soon as I turn right, the fucking sat-nav kicks in, and I was meant to go left. Fucking brutal. It's one of the frustrating things about driving around. When your sat-nav doesn't kick in, and you're like, come on, I'm approaching the junction. I need to go left or right here. And 99% of the time, you're going to go the wrong way. I don't know what that is. There must be some sort of law about that. The law of sat-nav. Where where whichever way you go, when your sat-nav has glitched, it's going to be the wrong way you need to go. That's it. It's the fucking way of the world, isn't it? Anyway, so I had to do a U-turn after going the wrong way there. Then I turn right, and then I get on the main road again, and I see the rugby club, but I can't get to it because there's a fucking barricade going down the middle of the road. So I've got to go 2 miles all the way up to the roundabout and then come back to it. This is, by the way, taking the wrong turning off the M6 already, previously to this, where it looked on my sat-nav as if I shouldn't be using a sat-nav at all. I ought to go back to maps. That's what I'm thinking. And I mean, like, not Google Maps. I mean, fucking normal, just sit in your lap, paper map and plan my route that way. That was like trying to get off near, it's not Spaghetti Junction, but it was a complicated junction. And I came off the motorway. I had to go right at one point as soon as I came off, but there was a second right, and I took the first one, and it just took me straight back on the motorway, doing a 7-mile fucking detour where I had to U-turn before I could come off again. So I'm already stressed. So I finally made it there. Obviously, I got to the gig. There was a few guys I know there. The guy who used to run it, who was running it, used to run gigs with his brother, but I don't think they run gigs together anymore. And a rugby club's always a bit of a weird one. It's just I don't know. I've never really. It's a weird sort of atmosphere because you think it's going to be like lad sort of thing. You know what rugby players are like. They're all fucking weird, aren't they? They've all got that like hyper lads thing. Hey man, I'm going out in my fucking blazer with my club badge on it. Oh yeah, we're the smart guys. You see them in fucking blazers everywhere, don't you? Like you used to anyway. I don't know. I don't go out anymore. I don't go out in town. But when I was younger and used to go out in town and I had nothing else to do with my life, I used to see them all out in their blazers and that after, possibly having played like multiple games of soggy biscuit or whatever they do. There's a weird sort of like homo-erotic thing about rugby, I think. Let's at this point, let's take a drink. Rugby players are always a bit weird, pissing each other's mouths and, sticking fingers up their ass and things like that. It's very odd. You never used to get that. Like when I used to play football, everybody used to just get changed in the changing rooms and have a shower. What's wrong with that? You don't have to turn the game after the game into a fucking Ibiza weekender. It was all very strange. So they do all shit like that. I don't know. Like I used to go out with a couple of my mates used to play for rugby teams, And on a Saturday after I'd finished football and they'd finished rugby, like I'd meet them in town or something, and they're always like got some weird guy like who plays for the rugby team who's, you know, getting guys to piss in his mouth and things like that, like in a fucking pub. Dear. I don't know. It's all very odd. All very odd. Anyway, so the gig last night, it was actually quite nice. There was a few people there. I know Joe, the compere, and the opening act, Pam, who both did really well. It felt like for me it could go either way at any time. It just seemed like they were a little bit because you think a rugby club, you think that they you know, we know what they've done in the past. Yeah, I've just detailed it meticulously. But they always seem a little bit like a little bit tame sometimes. So it was nice to sort of like corrupt that a little bit. And there was like older people in the audience, who obviously support the rugby club. There wasn't many sort of like younger people there, and there was a table of young lads at the front, but that was about it. But yeah, it was quite a good night. I quite enjoyed it. It's the first, like, I remember doing a rugby club, like it must be 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that, and I fucking ate my balls for 20 minutes. It was fucking brutal. Just, they didn't go for anything. Straight from the off as well, just didn't go for anything, and you're just up there going, oh, fucking hell. And then you start skipping material and you get to one of your strongest, like what they call bankers, or what we call bankers. And that doesn't go. And then you're like, oh, fuck it. If you're not going to go for that, then, you know, this other stuff is going to be fucking brutal to do. So you just, you know, it's when you start running the gig into the ground. Fuck you. No, that's my fucking spirit coming out there, isn't it? Little bit of fire in your belly and grit. You just think, oh, fuck you then. If you're not going to go for that, then I'm going to make it as bad as possible for you. There you go. Holy shit. Anyway, news this week. The news has been dominated with the sex life of a BBC presenter this week. It was like some sort of Miss Marple mystery going on all week. Allegedly, do I have to say allegedly? What can they take from me if I don't say allegedly? Well, it's not any more allegedly anyway, is it? I don't know why people say allegedly. Allegedly seems to mean that the definitely. Doesn't it? That's what it seems to mean. That's what it seems to mean in the news, doesn't it? It seems to mean definitely did this. Allegedly, a BBC presenter has paid money for pictures of a young... I can't see that anything... Unless the kid's underage, I have no idea. It said teenager, but that could be 18, 19, which legally... I mean, morally, it's probably... I don't know. Morally, is it right? I don't know. If the kid... Basically, what's happened is there's a BBC presenter, Hugh Edwards. It's came out this week, hasn't it? It's been sort of like a choose-your-own-adventure murder mystery this week with who the presenter was. I think at the weekend it came out that a BBC presenter had paid money for a teenage lad or a lad in his 20s or whatever. I don't know. I haven't. It was one of those stories where I need to know everything about this. That's the only thing, isn't it? Was paying money to 35 grand as well, £35,000 for pictures of a young lad. Apparently, who's the fucking? I can't see a victim there unless the kid. Obviously, morally and legally, if the lad's over 18, I mean, it's dubious because he's like quite an old guy, and he's married, so morally it's not great. But if he's of legal age, he's a fucking winner there. I don't know what sort of pictures he was sending for 35 grand. I think he must have a gold-plated cock or something. It's not a wrinkle on that bull back. Just smooth. He must have the fucking best cock in the world to be getting 35 grand for fucking pictures of himself. Either that or, it just goes to show that BBC presenters are paid far too much. What the fuck are you doing with my license fee money? That's what I want to know. That's something else I pay. What is it? 20 quid a month, £15 a month for the license. And you're spunking it up at the wall, looking, buying pictures of fucking young lads. Firstly, has he never heard of pornography on the internet? It's fucking free, Hugh. You know what I mean? You don't have to be. It's not like the fucking 70s where you had to, buy a tape from somewhere or go pay your money and go to a fucking cinema, sit there in cum-soaked seats to get your little thrill. You can just type into Google pornography and literally billions of videos will come up. You can take screenshots. You can do what you want with it. You can download them, save your favourite fucking ones that you love to spank your little monkey to. I don't know. It's, so that came out this week. And then I think The Sun, that fucking dirty, fucking shitty little rag, they released that it was a BBC presenter, front page, obviously. And then they backed off from the whole situation because they were worried about getting backlash because the guy had actually was struggling a bit mentally. He's suffering from mental health issues, apparently, which, would seem to be true. If you're spending 35 grand, that's not it's not normal behaviour, is it? Spending £35,000 on pictures, And he probably thought he was getting close to the young lad or something like that. I don't know. I think initially, from what I know about it, it was the mother who made a complaint about it. God knows how she found out. If I was taking pictures of my, hey, what you been up to today, son? Just taking a few dick pics and sending them to a BBC presenter. Holy shit. What for free? No, I'm making 35 grand out of it. Oh, that is out of order. If it's free, it's fine. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's it just seems like it's been a fucking witch hunt and it was bound to get out, It seems like, all week, people have been speculating about it and things like that. And then suddenly his wife, nothing like a woman scorned. His wife name drops him, that it's him. And that he's in some sort of clinic or something like that. I don't know. He's having a rough time of it. But to be fair, as long as it's legal to do, the guys of legal age, right? This is my spin on it. As long as it's legal age, I don't see an issue with it. You know what I mean? It's consensual between two people, surely. If he's paying 35 grand and the guy's accepting the money for it, surely that's consensual, And I couldn't really give a fuck what people do in their downtime. As long as I don't switch on. As long as I'm not switching on the news. And he's looking at his phone having a fucking beating himself off when he ought to be informing me about the day's events. I couldn't give a fuck. We seem to have some sort of like we've got a moral authority over people when they do this shit. We all have fucking urges. We all have fucking naughty little messages with people and shit like that. It's the way of the world, isn't it? You know, we all have, our little things where we flirt with people or whatever, or talk to people and shit like that. I couldn't, as long as it's a consensual thing, I don't know if I see an issue with it at all. I don't see an issue with it at all. Never mind. Hey, what have you been doing, man? Wouldn't you like to know? Anyway, yeah, I just think like he's been hounded. I mean, obviously he's married and stuff, and like he's obviously into young lads or whatever. But which is between him and his wife, surely, isn't it? I don't know why he just didn't come out and go, yeah, it was me. That's what you need to do in that situation. You need to fucking own it, don't you? Yeah, it was me. I paid 35 grand because I quite fancied this guy, and as long as it's fully legal, obviously. Let's make that perfectly clear. Don't fucking snip these sound bites, and then it comes out that it's, absolutely dodgy. But I couldn't give a fuck. If that's what he's doing, if that's what gets his rocks off, fair play to him. It seems, one of those fucking things, and everybody tries to make it dirty and sleazy and shit like that. Everybody, everybody's done that. Everybody's fucking, either you fucking dirty talk with your fucking partner, or like you're flirted and there's a bit of dirty talk via text message or a phone call or whatever. Everybody's done that. What everybody hasn't done is spent 35 fucking grand on it. Ah, dear. What did he ever do before? I think he met him on a dating site or something like that. What did he ever do before that? He's just at a fucking phone box with 18 bags full of fucking change from the bank, just popping in fucking coins on those phone lines. I don't know. I don't see a fucking, I don't see a fucking problem with it. It's nobody's fucking business. It's definitely not fucking front page news from a fucking dirty rag like that. But they love that, don't they? There's papers like that, tabloid papers. They love fucking being like some sort of moral authority, don't they? And the shit they've done over the years, the shit the Sun's done. Oh no, it was the News of the World. It's the same fucking paper, isn't it? They do it all the time, trying to put take the moral high ground with shit, aren't they? They soon backed off when they found out that it was having a mental effect on him, because they put their finger up like, oh Jesus, just burped. They put their finger up like that, don't they? See which way the wind's blowing, and if it's blowing against them, then they go, like. They're just as bad, aren't they? Fucking cowardly cunts. Just all they're interested in is fucking selling fucking sensational stories and making it as sensational as possible. They're fucking just essentially just selling papers, isn't it? That's all they're interested in. They're fucking destroying somebody's life for fucking money, which is the worst thing you can do. As long as the guys, like the lads, like of age, it's consensual. He's paid 35 fucking grand for those pictures. It's been consensual, and he's had a bit of a wank about them, I suppose. What's worse, doing that, or destroying somebody's life for fucking profit? I would argue that it was the latter. There we go. I don't know, man. It just seems fucking, It'll be something else next week. Somebody else exposed, wouldn't it? They fucking love that. The fucking newspapers, don't they? Exposing people. This is what this person's like, really. Well, everybody's got fucking shit they've done, haven't they? I'm sure if you put a microscope into the lives of the people who write these articles, they wouldn't come out too fucking hot either, but nobody gives a shit. because they're just a fucking shadow in the background, right in their fucking shit. Here we go. Anyway, what are we? 6 o'clock nearly. Here we go. What a way to start the day. Angry. It's the best way to start the day and attack it, I find. Half an hour done, people. There we go. That is, anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I don't know if you have the same thoughts or not. Who gives a fuck? Possibly me. I don't know. Anyway, what a way to end this episode. Anyway, that was episode 299 of the Ben Briggs podcast. Have a good fucking Sunday, people. I am going to attempt, and I say that in the broadest possible terms, attempt to get things done today. But we shall see. You can't just be pleased with yourself for that, can you? Saying, well, I'm going to attempt to have a day of doing stuff and then just lounge around. So we'll see. I shall speak to you next Sunday on the Sabbath, people. Feels like some sort of a churchy thing that's going on now. We're doing it on a Sunday. I don't know. And I'll speak to you next Sunday. Have a good week, motherfuckers. Get out there and attack it. Don't spend money on fucking photos. Remember, all you need is Google. What better way to end this podcast. Have a good week, motherfuckers. Take care. Speak to you then.